December the 5th, 2024. Guys, before we start this weather video, I want to talk about the earthquake earlier today. They ended up calling off that tsunami warning, and for you guys that were watching over on the live channel this afternoon, we went past that impact time, which was around 12:10 p.m. there on the West Coast. And so they've called it off, but I read what the USGS statement was, and it said, look for a lot of aftershocks, and we've seen that already. They're saying most of them will be around 3, 3.4, 3.5, right in that area, and there could be hundreds of them before it's over. And they did say there is a slight chance for a stronger one, and we've seen that happen before. Sometimes a 7 or 6.5, whatever it is, can be followed by a stronger quake. Now, I'm not saying that to scare anybody. I'm just telling you, if you're along the coastline, don't let your guard down. In other words, don't take your eyes off what's going on. Don't go right down on the beach and expect to, hang out very long in case something happens. And after it gets dark, guys, and you still got a few hours there, then it's going to be much harder to tell. But again, there were warnings in the video we were watching live earlier to where the fire department and the police departments were riding through, honking the horns and things like that, and asking people to get out of the way and move up to higher ground. That was all the way up for hundreds of miles along the coast there. So just keep in the back of your mind, there is a chance, according to the people at the earthquake division, the USGS, that you could have something stronger than a 7 in these aftershocks. Just saying that so you know and you don't let your guard down. Now back to this video. We're looking at the moisture and the temperature changes right now. This is the very cold air, this section here, guys, real cold. It's pushing further south. It's clearing it out. The moisture that's coming up through Texas from the Pacific and out of the Gulf is catching much drier cold air, and that's why you're seeing it kind of evaporate down through here. That moisture is being absorbed into that drier air. That's a good thing. One thing I want to say, though, notice here in Alabama, coming down into Florida, you still got enough moisture to coat the bridges and things like that. Anywhere you've got ponding water on the highways or back roads, wherever you're going to be at, that could freeze. And then you got that black ice and skidding situation. Even though the rain may be over, don't take your eyes off that, because it looks like a 7 a.m. event along the Texas area through Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, down into Pensacola. Very cold weather in the teens. We're going to look at that. That's including the chill factor because of the wind. Before we move on to that, let's take a look at where our moisture is and at the infrared. Now, this is our water vapor image. I did check. It's going to be coming across central Florida tonight. Looks like this is a little heavier. But, guys, I looked down as far as Tampa, and I don't think you're going to drop much below the 50s tonight. Pensacola, that's a different story. Notice this purple area here. This is very cold air, and it's pushing cold, dry air, pushing this back offshore and absorbing a lot of it. That's a good thing. If it wasn't, guys, we'd be looking at another major ice storm. And again, we got to pay attention to in the ponding areas and the bridges. But right now, you need to focus on your plants that you want to save, your pets, of course, and anybody you know that may be in trouble. Check on them, make sure they got enough heat. Just little things like that can make a big difference on this. But this is where the moisture is, the Gulf coming up out of Texas and moving into this very vicious wind area with whiteout conditions, still getting a lot of lake effect snow. Now, changing this, you can, again, moisture here in the Gulf of Mexico itself, some still here in Texas, guys. It's such a great thing that it's this dry air pushing in. Again, we don't need an ice storm. But up here, unfortunately, guys, in all of this turbulence, you're just getting pounded. More lake effect snow. Now it's blowing from the north to the south. Notice that in the Chicago area. You're starting to get it through here, over towards Holland, Michigan, right in that area, and all along this. A lot of snow, and it's coming down on a lot of snow that was already there. Let's back this out and look at a good bit of the northern hemisphere. Of course, this is the U.S. Over here is the coast of Africa, right through here. and here is the UK. Got Ireland in there and everything into the Mediterranean. Because again, the moisture's building here. You see it's starting to intensify. So it's going to scrape along the northeast coast here. Up here in Washington, Oregon area in Canada, you're starting to get some moisture, and that's a good thing. And because some areas are still dry enough to have forest fires. I think in Tennessee, I was seeing one today. You guys let me know there. It was high winds up in the mountains, very dry. And so they were starting to see a lot of smoke. But look at the storm moving in off the northern Pacific here. A lot of it's whirling around, but this may, more than likely, it's going to bring a lot of snow to these areas, especially in the higher elevations, and that may help the skiing community. Now, again, don't forget about your pipes either. If you've got exposed pipes and antifreeze in your vehicles, if you got batteries that are going to be in extreme temperatures, it's much better to take them out and put them somewhere where it's not going to be that cold, or that can really discharge them very quickly. But we're looking at Jackson, Mississippi. We're going to look across the southeast, and this gives you a very good indication of the temperatures. And we cannot forget about our friends up in the mountains through all of that area from Hurricane Helene. Right now, we're looking at 50 degrees, real feel 45. Now, it's 5 p.m. That's not quite here yet. That's what they're anticipating. 6 p.m., 47 now. I'm just going to roll through this and notice your real feel. That's because of the wind, but the precipitation is at 0. That's wonderful. If not, travel would be messed up all across the southeast right now and going into in the morning. 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 44, real feel 39 at 8, 41, real feel 36. Just scroll down because it's going to really start getting bad right in here, 10 p.m., you're already below freezing. But you can see that it keeps going down. But let's scroll down. Click on tomorrow. This is AccuWeather. Put in your area in the search box at the top, and you can select between the today, hourly, radar, the whole 9 yards. Midnight, 33, real feel 26. So we're going to have several hours now below freezing. That's where your pipes burst, and that's where your pets get in trouble, your plants. 1 a.m., 31, 25, real feel. Again, 7 a.m. is going to be the coldest point as we look at this, just continue to wind down. Real feel at 2 a.m., 24, 3 a.m., 23, 4 a.m., 23, 5 a.m., 22, 6, 21, coldest part of the day, 18. Check that out, 23. That's the temperature with a real feel of 18. So you're below freezing, well below freezing through half of tonight. And then as you get into tomorrow, guys, it's still going to be at 8 a.m. You're going to be back up to 23, but 27, you won't get back above freezing, excuse me, until right in this area around 10 a.m. in the morning. See that? And it's going to take a while. Past that point, if you do have any ponding or icing on any of the overpasses or bridges. Now, Pensacola, Florida, you guys are going to have very similar temperatures, and all of them peaking at the coldest point at 7 a.m. The difference is the precipitation. Now, you're going to be getting dry by the time we get to early morning after midnight, but you're still going to have, and you'll have a much greater chance than we have here of that interstate freezing over, or the overpasses and the ponding having black ice and things like that. Let's go through here. This is current weather, 4:14 p.m., 57. Let's go to 5 p.m. It's not long. It's about 40 minutes from now. 56 degrees, real feel 49, but notice the clouds and rain, 56% chance of precipitation. That's going to matter because even though it's going to be starting to get drier as you get into the early morning, guys, you're still going to have a lot of moisture on the overpasses, bridges, and the low-lying areas, and that black ice is very dangerous. By 6 p.m., 53 with a real feel of 48, still at 49% chance of precipitation. 52 at 46 real feel. It's starting to drop 3%. But guys, it may not have enough time to clear up And of course, you're going to have that wind blowing across and under the interstates. And look at this 22 mile per hour wind gust coming out of the north, sustained at 10 miles per hour. By 8 p.m., we're at 47, rain slacking down to 3%, but you still got high humidity, so be aware of that also. Wind gusts 24 miles per hour. It's picked up by 2 miles an hour coming out of the north at 12, 53 degrees. You can see that the moon will be possibly showing, mostly cloudy. 9 p.m., 51, real feel 44, just a 3% chance of rain. Wind still at 12 and 24 coming out of the north. 48, 41, chance of rain's 3%. You've got still 12 mile per hour winds with the higher gust. 45 at 11 p.m., 12 mile per hour winds, still high gust, real feel 38. Now, this is where it's going to get critical, guys, a few down, and that's along the coast. Now, and it's not as far as Tampa, but at 43 and 35 at 12 a.m. with 2% chance. And by 1 a.m., you're at 0% chance of humidity, but you're just 1 degree above freezing a real feel. Winds north at 10, gusts to 18 miles per hour. Do not travel tonight anywhere along the southeast, along these areas that I'm talking about. Now, let's come to 2 a.m. You're below freezing, still 0% chance of rain, 39 degrees. 10 mile per hour winds, 20 mile per hour gusts. That's what the killer is for plants, pets, and pipes. And you, if you're on one of these bridges I'm talking about, 3 a.m., 37, real feel 28. 4 a.m., 36, 27. Notice we're at 0 on the rain. 34, 25. 6 a.m., 33, 23. And just like across the southeast, 7 a.m. is the coldest point in the morning. 31 with a real feel of 22. Check that out. Winds north at 10 miles per hour. 0% chance. But guys, that means as you get into the morning drive time, real feels at 24 at 8 a.m., right? And if any of these overpasses are frozen over, they're going to be dangerous. So you make sure you check all that before you leave, because you're still going to have real feel below freezing up until, just like here, the 10 a.m. in the morning, then things may start to thaw out. Now we'll move this over to New Orleans for just a moment, guys. Let me pull this up right there. Again, 5 p.m., 59, real feel 54. The rain's tapering off there quicker than we're seeing in Pensacola. 20% chance. I'll scroll through this pretty quick. 14% chance, still well above freezing. 1% chance. Scroll on down here. 11 p.m., real feel 42, 1% chance. It's coming until after midnight or starting at midnight. This is where you've got to be careful. 49 and 41 for the real feel. Again, down to 1%. Now 0% chance of rain. The temperature's dropping. Just come on down. Now we're at right above freezing at 4 a.m. in the morning. But by 5 a.m., it real feel is freezing temperatures. 30, 27 at 7. That's your coldest point right there. Not much better at 8, though. See that? Still below freezing. You got a lot of bridges, and you still got a pretty good bit of humidity out there. So you may have some very dense fog, things like that, but it's going to be cold. Check on your pets now. Make sure they're okay. Check on your the elderly, your friends, your kids, whatever you got to do. Let's take a look one more time, and that will be Dallas, Texas. Now, guys, I've already got it in here, but wherever you live, you can come over here in this address box right there and type in your city, and that's going to give you the same information we're looking at. Let's go into and click on hourly right there. And that's going to give you a little bit different information, just what you've been looking at. But your 0% chance of rain, that's a great thing. 52, real feel 47. Let me move this over just a little bit. Winds north-northeast. See that? Dry, cooling. 13 miles per hour. 47, 41 by 7 p.m. 44, 37 at 8. Getting close to freezing by 11 at 33 on the real feel. Winds north-northeast at 8, gust at 10. By midnight, 38, you're right above freezing. 1 a.m., you're at 32 on the real feel. Wind 7 out of the north-northeast with 9-mile-per-hour gust. Real feel will be 32 by 2 p.m. We'll just scroll it down. Everything's dry. By 4 a.m., 31 and 5:30. Real feel 34. 7 a.m., 27. Check that out. Right there. Again, the 7 a.m. freeze. That's what I should name the video. So guys, go in there and check on it. Check on your hourly thing. Don't forget to go down to tomorrow, which means start at midnight. But that's why I wanted to do the video. It's a little colder than we expected, and I don't want anybody to be caught off guard. If you got any extra wood, you maybe get it close to you. Put it on your porch or something. Get it close to your fireplace or your wood burner. And again, be prepared always. We're in winter now. Start thinking about some spare propane heaters like the Mr. Buddy or Little Buddy, whatever they call them, guys, and things like that that will back you up in a situation when you don't have power. We're watching it. You watch it. It's a heads up. Be safe.